Hey, thanks a lot, Elijah. Back in June, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear Gamble v. United States. That's a case you're going to hear a lot of this week. Now, what is it, and how does it relate to President Trump and the Mueller investigation? Now, this Thursday in the Supreme Court, arguments will be heard for the case in which a man who was originally convicted of a felony was prosecuted in state and federal court for a gun possession crime. Now, he's arguing that this violates the double jeopardy clause of the Fifth Amendment, and that's what the central question of this case really is. It concerns the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, which states that under the double jeopardy clause, someone cannot be tried for the same crime twice, but because of a concept called the separate sovereigns exception, this might not always be the case. The idea is that since the federal government and the state government are two separate entities with separate laws and separate courts, they can try someone for the same crime since it was technically a crime against both institutions. Now, the way that the court rules could even affect the president's ability to pardon. Now, this is especially pertinent to the Mueller investigation and those convicted. Depending on the ruling, if the president pardon someone associated with the president's campaign on a federal level, that person could still be tried in, say, New York State court. A name that's being thrown around now for this purpose is Paul Manafort, who was recently in headlines because of Mueller's investigation accusing him of lying even after he agreed to a plea deal. Now, before the court is hearing the case, for some Washington context here, retiring Senator Orrin Hatch weighed in. He says in a September outside party memo to the Supreme Court that he is against the dual sovereign concept and says that the court rules if the court rules against the dual sovereign concept, that it would make it easier for the president to completely absolve any one of their crimes if he so chooses. Now, this could have heavy implications for the probe into Russian interference. Now, if the Supreme Court rules in favor of Gamble, that could greatly increase the president's power to pardon. But if they uphold the original ruling, the pardon would stay in its limited state. However, if the court rules, it will likely have mammoth implications for the executive branch moving forward. Gilad?